Welcome to Suitcase and Chardonnay, the podcast where style meets storytelling and where we blissfully blend travel, fashion, food, wine, and intentional living. I'm Renate Engelbrecht, your host, and this is the space where you can find inspirational lifestyle tips, explore beautiful local and international destinations, and share slow, luxury moments and the little details that make life feel richer. In this second season, we are leaning even deeper into life's unique experiences. From boutique hotels and family weekend escapes, to thoughtful food and fashion, soulful conversations about wine, creativity, and conservation, and the art of slowing down without losing your sense of adventure. Whether you're listening on a morning walk, planning your next getaway, or simply craving a moment of inspiration, you're in exactly the right place. If you love lifestyle podcasts that celebrate travel, fashion, food, and wine, go ahead and follow or subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And if something resonates, save it, share it, and let it travel further than we ever could alone. Now, if you're ready, let's go. This month, the theme on the Suitcase and Chardonnay blog is Good Things Take Time. A gentle reminder that the most meaningful experiences are often years, sometimes decades in the making. And today's episode is a perfect example of exactly that. For many, many years, Club Med has been redefining the art of perfect all-inclusive holidays, pioneering destinations that blend culture, connection, and adventure. Now, after years of careful planning, collaboration, and vision, something truly remarkable is on the horizon for South African tourism. Set along the spectacular Dolphin Coast, the upcoming Club Med South Africa Beach and Safari will introduce the country's first high-end all-inclusive holiday resort. And with that, a world-class concept, the seamless pairing of Indian Ocean beachfront luxury with an exclusive Big Five safari experience. It's a development that has the potential to reshape how the world sees luxury travel in South Africa, blending global hospitality expertise with local culture, design, cuisine, and community partnerships. In today's conversation, Club Med South Africa's Managing Director, Olivier, and I explore the vision behind this landmark project. From surf schools and safari experiences to Zulu-inspired design, culinary storytelling, sustainability, and the powerful role tourism can play in uplifting local communities. Because sometimes the most exciting travel stories aren't just about where we go, but about how long the dream has been in the making. Join us as we uncover the story behind one of the most anticipated luxury travel developments in South Africa. I'm in Fourways at Club Med with Olivier, the Managing Director of Club Med South Africa, and we are going to talk about this exciting new venture of Club Med in KZN in South Africa. And Olivier, thank you so much for your time. I'm very excited to hear all about the new resort.
Thank you, Renate, for your enthusiasm, and thank you for coming our way to Fourways from Pretoria.
Pleasure. So Club Med is soon launching a brand new resort in South Africa, first for South Africa, and
Correct.
A very big project, very, very big scale. Hey, can you tell me a little about the type of scale we're looking at?
Sure. Maybe a few numbers. So we have two locations, two sites.
Yes.
The beach resort located north of Ballito, and the game lodge located south of Pongola. The game lodge will have 75 tented rooms, and the beach resort will have 411 rooms, which is true we haven't seen in this country for the last 50 years, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
So pretty big, a very ambitious project that will seduce both international guests and, of course, South Africans as well.
Yes, that's something that I'm very excited about because I think in South Africa, there's lots of talk about resorts and lodges being promoted only to international guests. So I think first of all, let's just clear the air about that as well. What is the possibilities of locals being able to travel to this destination and affording staying there?
Our positioning is premium. Hence, it's true that it is not to everyone. That being said, the value of Club Med is certain. We have pioneered the all-inclusive concept. So the costs, the upfront cost may seem a bit high, but when you understand and break it down, there's so much value attached to it that usually we have a vast array of customers, even those that save up really to offer themselves the Club Med experience. So it will be basically the standards of an international resort, and the prices go accordingly to what you can find in Mauritius, elsewhere, really.
Yeah. What would this resort include? I know, I mean, I've been to the Seychelles resorts before, and I mean, you've got the kids club and you've got lots of activities to do. What exactly can people expect of this new resort?
Thank you for the question, and that's an interesting one, because for us, this is where Club Med expects to transform, so to speak, the South African hospitality landscape, because we're coming in with a long legacy of offering the best of resort life. And like you said, there is kids care on site. Club Med created the kids care so that parents can have a guilt-free holiday on their side, knowing that their kids are in good hand and usually having the time of their lives. And then it's really everything under one roof. So you have, of course, a lot of sports and activities on site. Just to name a few that I know I will experience myself, we have 6 paddle tennis courts. We have a surf school where you can learn to surf with professional surf instructors. You have stand-up paddle. So really a vast array of land and marine sports. And above that, you also have the Club Med entertainment throughout the day, at night, if you want to party a bit. I'm sure you remember in Seychelles.
Yes.
But it's always, under control and friendly partying. And then, of course, you have all the food and beverage, where in terms of the quantity of food, the diversity, the quality, it's always for me a pleasure to experience our resort, because I know that I will be more than satisfied. And above all, that cement the experience. You have the Club Med friendly staff, what we call the GOs, gentle organizers, that are here to have you to experience the Club Med resort life, the sports. And it's not daunting at all, because they're very friendly, and usually then you dare to try things that you would not necessarily have tried, or speak to others and open yourself up. So it's very convivial experience.
Yes, yeah. I remember from my experience with the resort in Seychelles as well, the people are really very helpful and very friendly, and always just there to guide you. And
exactly. And that's where we are going to be transformational. We are bringing a new hospitality to South Africa that has today plenty beautiful players, but that are more focusing on the traditional hospitality, where you have the hospitality service you would expect when you enter an hotel. Here it's quite different, and we like to say that it's for us the best way to holiday, because you feel at home away from home, and everything around you partakes in you having a good holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Olivier, and then I know that you guys are also bringing in the safari aspects into the Club Med experience here in South Africa. And can you maybe just tell me a little bit more about how that would work and where this safari experience will be?
Yes. So it's true that arguably it's the first time to this scale that we see an operator like Club Med managing both a beach resort and a bush or game lodge. For us, at the inception of the project, that was a must-have to have this dual experience. The point was to have our international guests to be able to, in one holiday, experience the best of South Africa. So the bush component was a must-have. It's been a long project in the making, between the opening on the 4th of July and the first time we scouted the region, probably 18 years. But I like to say that incredible things take time. And KwaZulu-Natal, for that, was the best location in South Africa and probably on Earth, because of the warm sea, the good weather of Durban, and the beautiful, pristine bush of the north of Zululand. So we know that with this recipe, our international guest again will capture the essence of South Africa, and we'll have something very different than other sun holidays you can experience around the world, because nothing really compares to that. Nothing equals a bush holiday to me, and we have something there very unique to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is an area in South Africa that especially international guests don't really know that well, because they tend to go to Cape Town and then to the bush.
So to date, in South Africa, you have two tourism hubs, Cape Town for sure, and the Kruger. And it's quite polarized around these two tourism hubs. Club we have a legacy in launching new destinations. We were the first in Cancun, we were the first in Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, the first in Bali. So we have the power of the brand and the customers that follow us wherever we go. And our humble ambition is to demonstrate that South Africa is not just about Cape Town and the Kruger. And KwaZulu-Natal has so much to offer for the reasons that I said. And hopefully, in a few years' time, we can proud ourselves to have contributed to the newfound dynamism of tourism in KwaZulu-Natal through the creation of this new hub.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think let's touch on that quickly, because I know Club Med is also very involved in community upliftment, and obviously as a very big travel brand, you are very passionate about sustainability. What kind of efforts are we looking at with this resort in KwaZulu-Natal?
Very dear project and dear topic to everyone at Club Med. Club Med, we created the Club Med Foundation, like we were chatting about earlier, 50 years ago, and that foundation was aiming at identifying levers to uplift communities around us and to protect the environment in which we evolve. So 50 years in the making of experience in this Club Med Foundation. To my knowledge, there's not many corporations that took this at heart at that time. In South Africa, it is a must. When entering South Africa, you have to understand that the country needs work creation, the communities need opportunities to find jobs. So it was part of the must-have of the project. And during the construction phase, we had about 1,400 people working on site. Most of them were recruited in the municipalities around the resort. So that already contributed for a period of almost 2.5 years of construction to really offering opportunities to many. And then when it comes to the operation side, so from the moment the resort opens, you have to have people that operate the resort for hospitality and catering. And those people, for us, we have also given an opportunity to close to a total of 700 South Africans between the bush and the beach resorts. And these South Africans, for some, are recruited with already a background in hospitality or exposure in catering. But for some, they are basically given a tuition, a training for 18 months, sponsored by Club Med, where at the end of the training, which is given by this French South African school called Nukakama, based in Eastern Cape, further to that 18 months training where they receive top-notch training with French starred Michelin chef and other hospitality professional, they are guaranteed to get a job. A lot of them are part of this training, also gaining exposure as we speak in our resorts in France or in Mauritius.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is, we talk about 160 youngsters from impoverished areas of Eastern Cape that are given the training, the diploma, and the job at the end of the day. And once they step into the Club Med environment in resorts, of course, there will be ongoing training to be sure that they stay on par with standards. And then it's an adventure that begins, because we can perfectly anticipate that a lot of them will then be offered opportunities around the world.
Yeah.
We have today a couple of hundred South Africans already working in our resort worldwide, and that is a social lift, social elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's quite important that we play our role at our scale with job creation, and then beyond the direct employment. To run a project like this, you need to have an entire ecosystem, a value chain. It's an ensemble of companies, suppliers that participate to the good conduct of the operation of the resort. And to that aim, we went for tender for 160 families of products and services.
Okay.
A product could be baby food or fruit and vegetables, and a service can be waste and management. And out of these 160 tenders, 97% were awarded to South African companies.
Wow.
So it's not just, direct employment, it's all of this indirect job creation that contributes to the socio-economical boost around this project. Yeah.
Incredible.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, wow. If you're a lifestyle, travel, fashion, food, or wine brand looking for a multi-purpose platform to collaborate with in telling your brand's story, please reach out to hello@suitcaseandchardonnay.co.za. Suitcase and Chardonnay is a blog, podcast, and social media company, and under the same brand, I am also a freelance writer who writes numerous articles for various publications. I would love to work with you in telling your brand's story, so feel free to reach out and let's share your story together. Obviously, Club Med also has great history with the culinary experiences to be had at the resorts. Can you tell me a little bit about the restaurants that people can expect and how it would work? I know there is an adults-only area as well.
Yes. So the culinary experience is quite dear to us because we are a French company with our headquarters being in France. And French people have fancy taste buds. So it's true that today still a lot of our customers, even though Club Med is a very powerful international brand, with a lot of customers coming to our resort from all around the world, the French touch is still important. And yes, I think, to my view, in terms of the price point, I know that we have the best value for money when it comes to diversity, quality, and quantity of food. It's a generous all-inclusive where you don't feel shy if you like your starter or your dessert or your main course to help yourself again. And that's part of the all-inclusive experience, I must say. So yeah, we have usually in this kind of resorts what we call a main restaurant, which is a buffet style, and there you would have different stations. There will be a braai room, there will be seafood, there will be Italian or international, Asian, or in this instance, Durbanite with an Indian touch, for sure. So usually you have this station representing a bit the taste of the local culture and the international taste. So yeah, I think that's pretty much suitable. And outside of this main restaurant buffet style, you always have in our Club Med resorts a specialty restaurant where you have a menu à la carte and waiter service. So it's a bit of a more upscale experience, still part of the all-inclusive, but just for a different dining experience. Where then the food would be slightly more refined, and yeah, you just have the more traditional, seated, lengthy dining experience. And then throughout the day, we have what we call the all-day dining experience. So after breakfast, if you're hungry, if you have a little hunger, you will always find a station where people make pancakes or fresh smoothies, etc. And that's part of the all-inclusive experience throughout the day. And then beyond that, you also have the bars, which always have finger food here and there, or sandwiches here and there. So at the end of the day, yeah, wherever you are in the resort, you would find something to your taste.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, incredible.
Yeah, it's a big plus, I must say. I love it.
I'm very excited. Just around the design of the resort, who was the architects? And I understand there's a bit of Zulu influence within the design as well.
Yeah, thank you for asking the question. The design is a successful story. Behind it, you have two main architecture and design firms. The one is French.
Mm-hmm.
It's the name of the architect and designer is Mark Etrich,
Mm-hmm.
with whom we've worked in a number of projects already, so you understand the Clement identity.
Mm.
And then we definitely wanted to embrace the South African codes. And for that, you need to have a South African expert.
Mm.
So we worked with a Cape Townian architecture and design firm called Mobius
Mm-hmm.
that could give us this complementary understanding of taste, color codes, everything.
Mm.
So it's been a successful partnership, and the Zulu culture is just one aspect. You know, we want to embrace different cultural codes or environmental codes. So it's true that the Zulu, KwaZulu-Natal being the cradle of Zulu culture, was important, and you have this huge figure above the main bar by the main restaurant and main bar
Mm-hmm.
that represent a Zulu hat.
Okay.
Above the main bar, I don't know, sculpture also,
Mm-hmm.
which is a strong cultural code we're very happy to embrace, because wherever we go, we need to be mindful of the culture. But it's not necessarily restricted to human cultures, but also sometimes the environment. So you'll have part of the main restaurant, one of the design of one of the rooms of the main restaurant will be about the marine life.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have elements reminding you of whales,
Okay.
big whales culture, etc. So that we also distinguish our climate design from the usual traditional hospitality players. It's always a bit more positioned, a step forward than again the traditional hospitality.
Yes, yeah. Speaking of whales,
Yeah.
I think that area, if I'm not mistaken, is an area where you can watch whales and dolphins. Is that correct?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, it's South Africa is amazing that the wildlife is everywhere when you leave the cities and at sea. And we are happy to be in an area where some of our guests in the morning can see the big fives, and in the afternoon or evening can watch the sunset with dolphin pods, which I've witnessed myself.
Wow.
You can see 50, 60 dolphins in a pod, and seasonally there are, of course, the whales, and you can spot them due to their stature, and also the water, the spray that they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful side of the country where wilderness is omnipresent. Yeah.
Incredible. Olivier, and then just lastly, why do you think should South Africans and international visitors rush to book with your resort?
It's a very good question, and I'm going to tell you about the way we position this destination and resorts differently for international crowds and for South Africans. For international crowds, actually last week we launched worldwide a strong marketing campaign called The Adventure of a Lifetime, because we know Club Med, and I know as a French guy living in the country for many, many years now, that, like I was saying, South Africa is different, it's powerful, and we feel that we need to market the attributes of South Africa. So we call it the adventure of a lifetime because it's so different for internationals. For South Africans, what is transformational again is, and that's how we're going to promote our new marketing campaign starting soon, we're going to address more the hospitality experience. The fact that we're the first to offer a real all-inclusive experience that again Climate pioneered, so we believe we're the best at all-inclusive holidays, and that's quite transformational in itself. So it's a bit more about South Africa and the attributes because you're South African, and we don't need to sell it to that extent, but more about what Club Med entails, what Club Med is about, and what Club Med is and how Club Med is going to amaze South Africans.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say that the reservations have been launched already last year, October, and so far it's been a success.
Amazing.
So we are quite humble and we don't take success for granted for sure, but the signs are very encouraging both from international markets. We have about, to my knowledge, 40 different nationalities at least that have booked, and that represent thousands of customers that would not necessarily have been to the country if it was not for Club Med. So that's also the power of the brand.
Yeah.
And then in South Africa, we have also big success both for leisure guests. So that's you and I traveling as active couples, families, friends, and the corporate market, because we have a convention center on site that can seat 500 and some breakaway rooms for workshops and so on. So both segments have been very successful so far in South Africa. And I'm sure that the best is yet to come.
Yeah. And then one final question.
Yes.
How should they book? Should they book 5 days at the marine resort and then another 2 or 3 at the safari experience, or?
So what we find is that the game lodge is a must-have for internationals. So international, they want to do the combo. South Africans are more interested in the beach resort so far, what we've seen. Why? Because they are already accustomed to experiencing the bush since forever.
Yes.
So our product when it comes to the bush is not transformational. The beach resort is. So for me, international, the booking pattern we see right now is people are going to stay 7 nights, maybe 7, 8 nights at the beach resort, and then 3, 4 nights at the game lodge. South Africans tend to book the beach and stay 6 nights on average. Some of them a bit less, and some of them a bit more. And I think to fully enjoy the Club Med experience, a minimum of 4 or 5 nights is would be adequate.
Yeah. Amazing. Good luck with the last bits of
Thank you, Renate.
planning and everything. And we can't wait to see the lodge, the resort in.
But thank you for your enthusiasm. When you enter a new market like this, even though people knew Club Med, we've been distributing the brand in the country for many years. You experience Seychelles, but people know us for Mauritius, skiing holidays. It's the first time we have our own Club Med resort. So it's a big thing for us also. And we're very happy to see the enthusiasm of South Africans that see that as a big thing for the country and for the travel and hospitality.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll always be first in line when it comes to travel and hospitality in the country. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Renate.
What a powerful reminder that the most meaningful destinations are rarely built overnight. They're crafted with patience, vision, and a deep respect for the place they call home. The upcoming Club Med South Africa Beach and Safari Resort promises to be exactly that. A thoughtful blend of ocean, wilderness, culture, and community that showcases the very best of South Africa to the world. If this episode sparked your wanderlust, you can read more travel stories, destination features, and luxury lifestyle inspiration on the Suitcase and Chardonnay blog. And join me in celebrating the art of travel, style, food, wine, and living intentionally. If you enjoyed today's episode, please remember to follow, rate, and share the podcast. It truly helps more curious travelers discover these stories. Until next time, keep collecting beautiful stories, whether it's in your suitcase, in your heart, or in your glass.